right. Let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. Um, the name of this one is Prophecies are at the Crossroads, or something along those lines. But as far as concerning prophecy, we're at the crossroads concerning prophecy. Now, the inspiration for this video is a video I was watching that Elder Pastor put up concerning Mike from We Think the Dollar. And just in general, you know, all of the things that are going on. And it just put that thought in mind, you know, the word crossroads. So what I did was, you know, just to get a bit, I've heard the term before many times. So just to cement it, so to speak, I typed in Google, what does the at the crossroads mean? It says, what does the idiom at a crossroads mean? It says, at a point of decision or a critical juncture, as in because of the proposed merger, the company is standing at the crossroads. This phrase, based on the importance accorded to the intersection of two roads since ancient times, has also been used figuratively just about as long. So pretty much there are two junctures coming into place, you know, and it's prophecy ushering in the end of the world. Now there's a couple of precepts rolling around in my head, you know. I'm just trying to grab them out the cloud. Just bear with me. This one didn't come, it just came to mind, so I'll just write this one down. Can't think of the other ones right now, but I'm trying to. Oh Lord, no! What the hell happened here? Okay. Yeah, something's going on with my phone now. This other phone. Okay. All right. So let's read that again. So like I said, there's two junctions, two roads coming together. Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. Scripture just came back to mind. The prophecies, prophesying, speaking, and the end of the world coming. So let's start off in the book of Jeremiah 28. This is a scripture that came to mind earlier. I don't really have any precepts, you know, to go into, but as we go along, the Spirit, you know, will supply. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And pretty much when the prophets come out, that's usually what takes place, because the prophets signify the end of the world, pretty much. This is why the Apostle Paul, who is correct in his speaking, in his writings, he didn't go off in none of his writings. You know, his writings are inspired by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, he said this in 1 Corinthians 4:9. It says, "For I think that the Most High has set forth us, the apostles, last, as they were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men." Why? Because of the message that's being taught. And the message that's being taught is being taught by the prophets. Now we have to remember that the prophets, you know, they didn't just come every once in a blue moon, you know, or they didn't just happen to be here just 2,000 years ago. The prophets have been here from the beginning. This is Luke chapter 1 verse 7. It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So ever since the world began, the prophets were here. That voice of the Lord in the cool of the day that Adam and Eve heard, guess what? Those were the prophets back then, speaking, inquiring, speaking about the wickedness that was going on, speaking about certain things. And anytime the prophets came, were on the scene, as we read in Jeremiah 28, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And these are the things we see happening right now. Aren't there wars? Aren't we pray with the elect? Aren't we prophesying against these great kingdoms, of these wars and of evil? Evil is what? Bad times. And look at what's happening. Look at what's happening around the world. Back in 2007, when this word first started being preached on YouTube, these things weren't happening on the scale that they're happening now. So it's the prophets of the Lord, the Spirit and power of the Lord, that have been out here teaching, speaking, bringing out this information, bringing out the truth. This information, not disinformation. This, THIS. Information, this truth. And speaking the things that are written in the scriptures, and they're happening, they're coming to pass. That's why the Lord told Habakkuk, though it tarry, wait for it will surely come, it will not tarry. It says of war and of evil and of pestilence. And we see pestilence going all over the world. Now, some may say, well, those pestilences are man-made, but it doesn't matter if it's man-made or not. The Most High controls both sides of the spectrum. Remember, he created the good and he created the evil. Let's go real quick to Amos 3 and 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? This is a question. Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? So if you see evil in the city, who did that? The Lord did it. And usually when there's evil, there's something bad going down. What happens? They blow the trumpet. Sometimes you have these sirens that they let off, in different cities because of certain catastrophes, different situations. Or sometimes you may hear it on the radio, or you may hear it on the TV, or you may hear it, on the web, internet, the news. There's different ways that they blow the trumpet. But in the ancient times, you had a trumpet that would be blown, and that trumpet that would be blown would give different distinct sounds as to what the trumpet was for. Was it for a congregation, the gathering? Was it for war? Was it, for, just the elders? Or was it for everybody? There were certain distinctions in the sound. The scripture in Numbers 10 and 1, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, for the journeying of the camps. Yeah, so there was one sound of the trumpet for the gathering of the congregation, and that's what congregation means. Con is with, and Greg, the name Greg or Gregory or Gregation means flock, with the flock. So the name Greg or Gregory is a spiritual name. It means flock. So congregation means with the flock. So what you're doing is and then the word convocation, con is with, and vocation or voc is to call, with calling. And what it is just a gathering. So if the trumpet gave a certain sound, the people would gather. If the trumpet gave a certain sound, the people would gather, but that particular sound may be, all right, it's time to move. It's time to go on our journey. Then the trumpet gave another certain sound, was a warning, that there may be potential danger, And then when it was sure that it was danger, then the trumpet would give a certain sound and let you know, well, look, the enemy's coming. Get ready for battle. It says, and when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes, check that out. I didn't know that was in there. But that's the spirit. That shows you how the spirit works. And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes which are heads of the thousands of Israel shall gather themselves unto thee. See? So you had different distinctions in the sounds. When you blow an alarm, see, now you got an alarm. When you blow an alarm, matter of fact, let me get that preset before I forget it. Just bear with me 1 second. I don't want to forget. That's a good one. That's a real good one. Or is it the 4th chapter? It might be the 4th chapter. Yep, that's it. All right, so it goes on to say, when you blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward. When you blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. See, so it all depended on what the sound of the trumpet would blow, and then depending on that, if everybody's moving or if just a particular person is moving, if the whole congregation is being called, or just the heads of the different groups being called. But when I want to also make another mention of something, but let me just write it down because I thought about this earlier. All right. So it says, but when the congregation is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm. See? It says, and the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. Yeah, because the priests used to go out to war too. People think, the priests was punks. The priests were out there, in the battlefield. I mean, they weren't fighting, but they were out there in the battlefield. They might have been, helping the wounded, pulling, the men to the side, maybe giving them aid, helping them, but they were out there in the battle. And if you go to war, see, now if you go to war, oh snap, lost me. Come on, bring it back. Rewind. All right. So it says, and if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and you shall be remembered before the Lord your power, and you shall be saved from your enemies in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your power. I am the Lord your power. And pretty much that shows you the importance of the new moon. And the new moon is the beginning of the months. The new moon is also a Sabbath. The new moon is also the dictator of the Sabbaths for the month. So let's go from there, but that goes into another topic. Let's go from there to the book of Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 19. It says, this is the prophet Jeremiah speaking, my bowels, I am pained at my very heart. My heart maketh a noise in me. I cannot hold my peace, because thou hast heard, O my soul, the sound of the trumpet, the alarm of war. And that's what's coming. That's what the prophets are sounding out here, the alarm of war. Matter of fact, nah, that's not going to come up. The alarm of war, that's what's being sounded. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for the whole land is spoiled. Suddenly are my tents spoiled, and my curtains in a moment. How long shall I see the standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? See? So the trumpet is sounding, but the people are not listening. A lot of the Israelites are not listening. That's why it says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are Sodom's children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. See? So the trumpet is being blown, but Jake ain't getting ready. You know? And what we're witnessing right now, pretty much, this thought came into mind earlier, that we're about to repeat 70 AD all over again, you know, here in America and around the world. But it's not going to really be a siege like it was back then, because, you know, you had walls and gates, you know, of the cities. But what it is in this time is when when all hell goes down, you know, when the shit hits the fan scenario, then they're going to be sending these troops, you know, all throughout the different major cities and the different places where they'll send them to gather the people up. And the main people they're going to be gathering up are the Israelites. You know, now I was watching the ending. It's funny, I was flipping through the channels last night, and I watched the ending of the movie War of the Worlds, the first one in 1953. And it's funny because of when I went to it, the scene that was on was a church scene, and I had to use the bathroom, so I went real quick. You know, I used the bathroom and came back. I just knew I was gonna miss it, but when I came back out, and as I was sitting down, they showed the picture of Yahushua, you know, the so-called Christ, you know, which is Yahushua, a black man with an afro, woolly hair, you know. They showed that part, you know, so I was able to see that. And you know, then they showed the chariot so-called crashing because they called a human virus or some crap like that, you know. But I'm trying to remember the reason why I brought that up. There was a reason why I brought that up, but I can't think of it right now. So like, you know, I'm a little scatterbrained today, but it's all good. So we're in 70 AD all over again, and you know, wherever these major cities are, or wherever they're going to send these troops to, they're going to send them. And that's what the scriptures say, they shall be like madmen, sparing none. What do you think that they is talking about? He's talking about these different troops, whether it's FEMA troops, National Guards, reserves, foreign troops, because they have a lot of foreign troops on the soils of America. You have something that we haven't spoken about in a long time, which is called the Gurkhas, which are, I believe they're from Nepal, and they're pretty much vicious warriors, man, that don't give a shit, and they'll take you out, you know, because the consensus is in the military, you know, the Marines and different other branches of the military, that the certain of the men there are not going to take arms against Americans, you know, for no reason. So they're going to have to bring in someone that's not going to be biased, that's going to, you know, get the job done, so to speak. So it's going to be rough out here. So we're seeing the alarm, the sound of the trumpet going on, but a lot of Jake ain't listening. And we have, you know, the prophets are out here telling and warning them, and they still not paying attention. Attention. Now this is Hebrews 1:1. It says, the Most High, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in the past, and so let me read that again. Slow down. It says, the Most High, who at sundry times, breathe, dog, breathe. You know, I mean, that's a kind of inside joke with two parts to it. It says, the Most High, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. See? And the prophets all prophesied about what? The coming of Yahushua, the demolishing and the destruction of certain empires, you know, and the beginning of other empires. And the ultimate was what? The ushering in of the kingdom of heaven. You know, and when we read the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, Daniel, the 2nd chapter, you know, it gives us a list of all of the different um, all of the different empires, major empires that would rule the beginning of that particular time period and the end of it. You know, and it said that at the end, the Messiah would come, Yahushua would come, which is the stone, and would demolish all of those kingdoms. But and it would hit the feet of that statue, because the feet of that statue is where we're at in prophecy, and that's the ending of that statue. And any dime store scholar and any other serious so-called scholar, if they're honest and they know history, they know that the four major empires, you know, were the Assyrio-Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and the Roman Empire. And those are the four major empires. But what most don't know is that the fourth empire, which is the Roman Empire, would be cut down for a certain period of time, but they will come back into power in these times now. And that's where the mystery, the secrets, you know, of the Lord come into play. And those mysteries and those secrets are not revealed to everybody, you know. And that's why for a while Babylon the Great was a mystery, a great mystery that's now been broken wide open. And that's why that Edomite, you know, on Mike's show, Rethink the Dollar, he tried to go into prophecy, but he just mangled it all up. You know, he was trying, but he mangled it all up. And the reason why a lot of these people out here now are starting to go into the book of Revelation and Daniel is because we've been hitting them scriptures for so long that they're starting to understand certain things because they've been watching. But what it is they can't break it down how we break it down, because it'll be obvious. So what's happening is that that they're putting their own spin on it. They're putting their own demonic spin on it, you know, to make it theirs, so to speak. And that's why they'll take little pieces and bits. You know, they're talking about America is in Bible prophecy. They'll mention Revelation 17, but then they'll totally mangle it. Talk about that it's talking about the statue. It ain't talking about the Statue of Liberty. You know, America as a whole is Babylon the Great. America as a whole is that whore, that harlot, that sat upon the beast. America, as when you read the last verse, it said that this is the great city that ruleth over all the kingdoms of the earth. And America is the one that sets policies and holds sway over all these nations on the planet. And they said, well, it says a city, it doesn't say a country. Yeah, but how big is a city? A city is as big as a citizen. Does it matter if you're from California or from Arkansas or from Chicago or from Maine or from Florida or from Alaska or from Hawaii? No. You're known as a U.S. citizen, no matter what city, state, you know, you were born in. You see? So this great city, which is America, is the one that's ruling over all the kings of the earth. And she is the reason why all these kings of the earth have been made rich. And the Lord has a beef with America, Babylon the Great, because of all of that wickedness that they've been doing. And he's about to judge her. All right? So we're at the time, or we're at the crossroads of the Most High judging her. Now I want to read that again. What does the idiom at a crossroads mean? At a point of decision or a critical juncture. And that's where we're at, the point of decision or a critical juncture. And it's funny because the scriptures even speak about that. Let's go to the book of Joel real quick. Joel chapter 3. Okay, it's right before Amos. Joel chapter 3. I'm trying to get the exact precept right here. Joel chapter 3 verse 13. Put ye in the sickle for the harvest is ripe. So when you put in a sickle, that means that you're ready to thresh, and you're ready to reap. Or yeah, you're ready to reap what you sowed, in that field. So America is ripe because we're at the crossroads. Babylon the Great is ripe. This world is ripe because we're at the crossroads of this place going down. It says, come get you down, for the press is full, the vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. See? So what's bringing this place down is its wickedness. How carelessly she had lived, something along those lines. So much torment and sorrow give her, because this place has been careless. They don't have a care in the world. That's why you have individuals like Aleister Crowley that will say, "Do as thou wilt" is the whole of the law. Why? Because you can do whatever you want here. You could be a freak, like Adina Howard. You could just be a freak in this place, and they're pushing that through the music, through the television, through the movies, through the videos. They're pushing that heavy, and that's why you see this. Majority of so-called black women, which is the Judite women, the so-called Latino women, and other women, being lewd, dressing like skanks, having skank stamps on. I call them skank stamps, skank stamps, SS. They really call tramp stamps, but I call them skank stamps. And all of this, the mentality that they have, is pushed because of the, as the brothers coined it. I believe the brothers coined it, black culture, so-called black culture, which is something that has infested and infected, all of the tribes. And that's why they act the way they act. That's why they're like wild bulls in the net. That's why they're full of the fury of the Lord, because of the lewdness that's going on out here. But this is the fault of the ones that are in power, because they push that. Music, back in the days when hip-hop first came out, hip-hop was about culture. Hip-hop was about style. Hip-hop was about bragging about, how nice you were. About, it was about bringing out a message. It was a warning. It was about hard times. It was about, trying to get by. It was about the woes of the ghetto, the woes of the barrio on the streets, and how things were, and giving positive messages, and reassurances. And then what happened, it turned into gangster rap, and it turned into other things as what you see today, which was a total demoralization, of Jake. That's what the scriptures say, the daughters of music shall be brought low. And our the Israelites have been brought very low, from listening to these, they're messages, but they're messages of evil. And this is why, you have the so-called black women and Latino women, which are Israelite women, acting the way they do, dressing the way they dress, because it's been made sexy, it's been made cool. It's just like the back in the days, you had the cowboy on the Marlboro box, or they have an advertisement or a commercial of him smoking a cigarette, and it'd be cool. But then that same individual died of lung cancer, and people started smoking because it looked cool. And then what happened? People are dying of lung cancer because of that. But that was something that was pushed out there, by that medium, and people, looked at it and thought it was, the way to be, and look at the repercussions from it. You have people with holes, in their right here in their throat, because they can't speak right, they can't breathe right. So there's all kind of shit going on, So it goes on to say, multitudes in the valley of decision, because we just read the word decision in the definition of at the crossroads. So there's a precept there, verse 14, number 6. It says, concision or threshing. Let's see what that says in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew. Just bear with me. Let's go to Joel 3. Excuse me, so I can let it load up. I should have opened it up before I started. But I just wanted to get rolling. Haven't been able to do my lessons early because there's a lot of shit going on this week, but it's all good. We rolling. All right, decision. The word decision is charatazah, which is diligent. Charatazah, diligent, sharp, pointed, sharp, diligent, strict decision. So it's a strict decision. Trench, moat, ditch, gold, poetical. Okay, so pretty much it's a strict decision, and that's what we're witnessing. Now you have the word valley there. It says multitudes, which goes back to what? To the word Armageddon or Armageddon, which is the mountain of the troops. So the word there for valley is Aimak, valley, vale, lowland, open country. And America is that lowland, the valley of the shadow of death. So it says multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is near in the valley of decision. And that's where we're at in prophecy. We're at the crossroads. Once again, let's read that again. At a point of decision or a critical juncture, as in because of the proposed merger, the company is standing at the crossroads. This phrase, based on the importance accorded to the intersection of two roads since ancient times, has also been used figuratively just about as long. So pretty much what's happening is you have two worlds colliding, two roads coming to a head, and one road is going to overtake the other road, and that's what's going to happen. And I'm not doing no hand sign signals, that I'm with the Illuminati and none of that shit. And I know how devils act, So there's two roads that are coming together, and they're about to collide. And one road is going to remain, and the other road is going to fall. So let me see if I can find. I wrote down a couple of precepts, but with all this going on, I hope I can find them. Oh, here we go. All right, so let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 4. 2nd Ezra, chapter 4, verse 36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, which is the elect, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. See? So what's happening right now is in the there's a term for it. I can't think of the term right now, but as far as prophecy is concerned, what's happening is that scales are being tipped. This is the prophecies, this is the end. So it's going, the end is going, in other words, to be destroyed. So the scale is being tipped on the side of the prophecies, because we're at the waning years of this place. And once the prophecies are fully fulfilled, then this place goes out, and not before that. That's why it goes on to say, by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he does not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. And this is what we're witnessing right now, the said measure being fulfilled. And let me get this precept here. Matter of fact, let me grab this one real quick. Okay, So we can start there. And let's get this other one in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3. We're just going to go to the point, and we may read up above that, afterwards. 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 12. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High. And everything leads back to the day of the Lord. Because the day of the Lord is going to be darkness and gloominess. And the reason why is because it's going to be hopelessness out here. Because the missiles, when the missiles are shot and they start to destroy, and the chariots get to blowing them lasers, it's going to be over, man. The only hope is going up to the chariots. Unless the individuals are outside of America in certain places that are not going to get hit. But even then, Jake and other nations have to be weary, because, there's going to be certain ones around the world that's going to be destroyed, certain places that are going to get hit, So it says, wherein the heavens being on fire. What does it mean, the heavens? The heavens means the rulerships on the earth are going to be on fire by reason of these thermonuclear warheads. And the main heaven that's going to be on fire is America, the land of Israel, and other places around the world. The heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So what's going to be so hot as to melt with fervent heat? What's that fervent heat going to be that's going to melt the elements? That's the fire from the nuclear missiles. The chariots, the laser from the chariots too. But the lake of fire are those missiles, the fire from the missiles, and the combination of the lasers plus, plus the natural resources that are going to be here. People are going to be a part of that kindling, wood. You're going to have buildings, and you're going to have natural gas, propane, kerosene, gasoline, so on and so forth, that's going to contribute to that great conflagration, which is just a fancy way of saying fire. All right, so it goes on to say, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's scripture. We're looking for new heavens and a new earth, because once this goes down, once prophecies are fully fulfilled, then it's on to the next chapter, because time is never ending. Time is eternal, and once the kingdom is established, it will never be let out to any other nation. Nobody else will ever come up and say, you know what, I've been looking at the Israelites, they've been going off, so I know they're about to go down, and we got to get ready to take over. No, it ain't gonna be that, it ain't gonna be that way no more. This is 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time. Yeah, because you won't be able to do what you've been doing anymore. Let's go from there real quick to the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 22. I started 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. And that's what we see going on right now. And eventually they're going to be in the predicament that we've been, but far worse. Sons of bitches. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He, Esau, will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Yeah, because that's where you're heading. You're heading to your utter and bitter destruction. Now there's one more. I'm not sure if that's the book of Zephaniah. Just bear with me while I can see if I can find that one. I don't know if that? Zephaniah, or is it Nahum? Yep, Nahum. Nahum 1 and 12. Thus saith the Lord, though they be quiet, and likewise many, yet thus shall they be cut down, meaning Esau and the other nations. When he shall pass through, because that's what Yahweh is coming to do. He's coming to pass through and kick Esau in the ass. Though I have afflicted thee, I will afflict thee no more. That's not the one, but that's good though. Oh, okay, verse 9. What do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. Yeah, because it's not going to rise up again. Once these devils go down, that's it. They're down for good. So this is why we read in Daniel 7, and that's why I said if you read this dream, which was actual prophecy, you know, are empires that would rule. And the last empire would be the Roman Empire, which would come back through that little horn in Daniel and through the deadly wound being healed in Revelation 13. And when they come back into power, they were going to do a certain amount of things. They were going to implement this microchip. They were going to increase in their technology, which we see technology increasing by the day, you know, to where you got nanotechnology, small, you know, everything is a lot smaller now than what it used to be. You know, from them big, bulky, complicated computers that they had back then to what they have today. You know, the small computers, laptops, you know, iPads and different things like that. And the smartphones are nothing more than a mini computer. You know, so everything that they have is all being revolutionized for, you know, the purpose of bringing an end in. And then the internet was created by the Lord, made them create it so that the word could be pushed out there, because it would be impossible for us to go to all these different nations around the world where Jake is at to wake them up. So the Lord used the internet to do the heavy lifting. So Daniel 7 and 21 says, I beheld, and the same horn, and that horn is America, made war with the saints. Who were the saints? The Israelites. How did they do that? When they got here, you know, they started with the so-called Latin tribes, you know, on the so-called West Indies islands, you know, so-called Puerto Rico and all those islands, and reaching in the mainland. But really, when they got to North America, they waged war against Gad, they waged war against Reuben, they waged war against Issachar, and to take this land. It says and I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. Why? Because it was prophecy, and this is the prophecy, and many others. Gad, the troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. It says, until the Ancient of Days came, which is the Most High, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. Yeah, because this is what we're waiting for. Let's go real quick to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation, or Apocalypse, chapter 13 and verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. What does that mean? If you bring somebody into slavery, you're going to go into slavery. I remember watching this Edomite pastor. I mean, I didn't know Esau could dance that good, you know, because he did a dance around that part that he didn't touch it, but he kind of said something, but he didn't really go into it. He tried to focus more on the sword part than on the captivity part, because I know in the back of his mind he had to have watched Israelites, you know, and considered that, because that's one of the main scriptures that we bring out to show that they're going to have to go into captivity and receive for their punishments. So this dude danced. He did the James Brown, the Flip Wilson, and the Wilson Pickett all in one around that scripture. And I think I saw a little hint of Michael Jackson and Prince in there too, because this devil boy, they don't want to touch those prophetic scriptures when it comes to them paying. That's where you have your vocab Malones, the agent riser or reeser, or however the hell you say it, that don't want to accept reincarnation, because if they accept reincarnation, they have to accept that they're going to have to pay for all the wickedness that their forefathers have done, which it was really them. So it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And that's why it says in Revelation 18, when the Lord destroys this place, rejoice over her, ye apostles and holy prophets, or ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. And that's what the Lord is coming to do. He's coming to avenge us on this whole named America, which is the Bible calls Babylon the Great. And the reason why a lot of people at one time didn't want to accept that America was in the Bible is because it doesn't say America in the Bible. But now they are starting to understand it more, because it's coming out, it's more blatant. The evidence is overwhelming, and they can't gainsay it anymore. They can't push it away. It's in their face, so to speak. And they're having a hard time with it, because one thing people don't want to talk about is the end of the world. Like I've told this story before. There was this woman that I knew in the world, and when the Lord brought me into the truth, I was waiting for the bus, and she happened to pull up, and she asked me if I wanted to ride. I said, yeah, sure. And I started talking about the end of it. She said, no, don't talk about the end of the world. I don't want to hear it. So the consensus of people, they don't want to hear about the end of the world, because what people conceive in their mind of the end of the world, they conceive the whole planet exploding, or just a total different idea than what the scriptures speak about. I mean, there's going to be great judgment, there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth, but at the end of the day, the earth is still going to be intact after the smoke clears, so to speak, because the earth is here forever. And this is a part of Yahweh's inheritance, is this earth, as well as the universe and everything you see within, and without, wherever there may be anything, or any, wherever it is. So the earth is part of the earth is one of Yahweh's mansions, put it to you like that. Like he said, in my Father's house are many mansions, there I go to prepare a place for you. The planet Earth is one of Yahweh's mansions. And whatever Yahweh got, we're joint heirs with him, so we're going to get it. All right? We're going to get a part of that blessing. So their idea of the end of the world is this total annihilation of everything and everybody, because this is what plantation Christianity has taught. This is what religions have taught. This is what the ones that are in power taught. This is what the so-called church fathers that butchered, the scriptures and the understanding of the scriptures, have pushed in the minds of, they've ingrained it in the minds of the people. That's why I just wanted, since we're dealing on that real quick, there is something in here called Gehenna, right? And this is the beloved compact Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, and this is under Gehenna. All right, and Gehenna is the Greek way of saying the valley of Hinnom, and that's pretty much what Gehenna means, because Gehenna was a garbage dump where they would sacrifice the children to Molech, burn garbage, and they were saying in some instances they would bring criminals there and judge them, whether it was by fire, whatever. I forget the exact history. It's been a while since I've gone over that. But it says Gehenna, Valley of Hinnom, a valley on the west and southwest of Jerusalem, which formed part of the border between Judah and Benjamin. So pretty much what Yahweh used this Gehenna for was the scene of future judgment. Not that there was a place that you go to burn forever. And that's where the misunderstanding of hell comes in. Because when we read further down, it says after the Old Testament period, right? It says Jewish apocalyptic writers began to call the Valley of Hinnom the entrance to hell. That was the doorway to hell, which was an actual place. The Valley of Hinnom was an actual place where judgments were being meted out. It says, after the Old Testament period, Jewish apocalyptic writers began to call the Valley of Hinnom the entrance to hell, later hell itself. So you see how it got contorted? So this is Jewish fables. These are just fables. They're myths, mythologies, or just myths that have been, pushed for the sake of scaring the congregation into giving more, to giving up their lands, their goods, and everything to the so-called church fathers. And that's what it was all about. And I said, oh, you don't want to go to hell, do you? You don't want to go to purgatory, do you? So you got to pay so-and-so so you can buy your way into heaven. So it was all bullshit, and to this day you have these wacky-tacky plantation Christians that believe in that doctrine of hell because that's what they push. You got to remember, that's their money-making baby right there, So they got to keep that thing alive. Anything that makes these devils money, they got to keep it alive. They don't want to let that go, especially if something is breaking in the door like that. Why let it go? That's their mentality on it. So it goes on to say, let's read that again, verse 22, Daniel 7:22. Until the ancient of days, yeah, because we already finished with Revelation 13. Until the ancient of days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. And when the saints possess the kingdom, they're also going to possess slaves. It says, thus he said, the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, which fell, came back through the little horn of Daniel 7, not Daniel 8. The little horn in Daniel 8 is a different horn, little horn. And the same idea is in Revelation 13, where that one head was wounded as it was to death, but then that deadly wound was healed. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth. And this is also spoken of in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 12th chapter, where the angel told Ezra that fourth beast was spoken of in the book of Daniel. And anyone that has any sense, or some working knowledge of prophecy knows that the fourth beast in the book of Daniel is the Roman Empire, which shall be diverse from all the kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth. So it shall be diverse from all the kingdoms, because America is set up just the same way that the ancient Roman Empire was. It says, and shall devour the whole earth. Now the Roman Empire back then did not devour the whole earth. They had the known world at the time, but they did not devour the whole earth. And I'm pretty sure that's going to say holos gi or gay, which is whole earth. All right, they did not get power and control over the whole earth. That did not happen until the revival of the ancient Roman Empire, which is America, through her allies. Now they have sway and control over the whole earth. So that's how we know that it wasn't talking about ancient Rome. Because once these prophecies are fulfilled in Daniel 7, the kingdom of heaven will be established. And the kingdom of heaven is not established yet. So that means that we're still in the prophecy of Daniel 7. We're still in the prophecy of Revelation 13. But we're at a crossroad right now to where the world rulerships are going to change. All right? And once again, crossroads, I like the way that sounds, at a point of decision or a critical juncture. And this is that critical juncture. The critical juncture is that one is going to end and another one is going to begin. That's what we read in 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 13. Let's read that again, which was a direct quote from the book of Isaiah. I believe that's the 66th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. This is a direct quote from there. So we got the book of 2 Peter 3 and 13. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Meaning what? The new heavens and the new earth, meaning the new refreshment of the planet Earth and the new refreshment of the rulership of this kingdom is going to be done in righteousness, being governed by Yahushua and the Israelites. And that's it. So, reading on in Daniel 7, thus he, the whole earth, let's read that whole thing again. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Who is the one that tread the world down and broke it in pieces? Why is the earth in the condition that it's in? Who's ruling it? The so-called white man, beginning with the international banking families, which happen to be Amalekites. So, which are all Edomites. So, the scriptures is telling us that this fourth beast, or this horn, was going to have sway over the whole planet, and it was going to break the planet down. And we read in Job 9:24 that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So when you put all those pieces of the puzzle together, it all points at the so-called white man, the Edomites, as being the wicked. Now, not every so-called white person you see out there is an Edomite. You have white-looking people of other nations, because Esau mingled himself with them. But you also have white-looking people that are Israelites, because when you go and check their lineage on their father's side, you have so-called Negroes in there, or you might have so-called Latinos in there, or you might have so-called North American Indians in there that are of Negroid and Indian descent. See? And don't say that that's not possible, because we have, the Lord is beautiful because he gave us examples. Blake Griffin, look at how dark his father is. Look how he came out looking. And look at how his son came out looking. If his son was to walk by any of those other different camps, and he never made mention that his father's name was his father was Blake Griffin, they will call you an Edomite. Bow down and lick the shit off of the bottom of my foot. Do it. And a lot of those people that bow down, those are more than likely Jakes. Those white-looking people that bow down and be kissing these guys' feet, those are probably Jakes. Because Esau's proud. Esau ain't gonna. Let's see you get one of those international bankers to come and bow before you and kiss your feet in this time now. It ain't gonna happen. Let's see you try to get one of them proud-ass Edomites to do that. It ain't gonna happen, because Esau's proud. So a lot of those white-looking people that bow down before you, those are more than likely Jakes. Think about it. You know, so they would reject Blake Griffin's son because of the way he looks. If he never told them, if he said, well, my father's name is, my father is Blake Griffin, he plays basketball. They say, oh, well, you're an Israelite, you know. But they'll look at him and say, nah, you're a heathen, you're an Edomite. Come on, get on down, assume the position. Give me the scripture, brother, Isaiah 49:22. And thy nursing fathers, you know, and they shall lick the dust of thy feet. Lick, no, don't just kiss it here. Lick the dust off of the bottom of my shoe. And like Elder Pastor said, that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about that they're going to be, you know, in subjection to us. They're not going to be, I don't want no goddamn Edomite licking my fucking foot or my boot or whatever the case may be. Meaning they're going to be in total subjection. But see, this is something that goes back to One West, you know, that was done back there, so they're keeping that, they're keeping that going. You know, but that's not what that's talking about. But anyways, anywho, let's move on. Let's go back to, we got to read that again, Daniel 7:23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down. That's what the Lord said, he will destroy them to destroy the earth, and break it in pieces. And that's what we see going on right now. It says, and the 10 horns, which is the EU, The European Union, which used to be the EEC, the European Economic Community, that's a part of their allies, which they're going to turn on her. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, which is America, and he shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue 3 kings. Yeah, and they did subdue the 3 kings. And the 3 kings, when you look at the history of America, it was governed by 3 major so-called European countries, which are Edomites. You had the British, the French, and the Spanish. And that's why you had those 3 wars, for America to finally gain sway and control over all of Babylon the Great. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, yeah, because they allow anybody to do whatever they want. They say that they're a God-fearing country, but then they put that you could worship whoever you want. You could be any religion you want. You can be any sex you want. You can be a homosexual if you want. Men can be with men, women can be with women. You can marry men, men can marry men, women can marry women. If you want to marry a cat or whatever, you could do that. And that they told the world that the Most High and his son are so-called white people. Think about it. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High, which they have. That's why we're in the condition that we're in. That's why they took this land. Then they put Gad on reservations. Now they're going through the different churches where the Gadites were being re-educated, and we're finding out that they were killing a lot of those Gadites. And it's coming out now, and that's why Gad is going around burning them different churches. But it's gonna. Don't worry, the Lord is gonna bring vengeance. He's gonna bring vengeance, and the vengeance that the Lord brings is gonna far exceed anything that anyone on earth can do to these devils. And think to change times and laws which they have, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and the dividing of time. And this is a representation. Same thing in Revelation of 350 years. And after that 350 years, that's when Jake, started waking up. That's why it's important to understand prophecy. Because when you understand prophecy, everything is set in its proper order. And there's no coincidence that in 1969, 1970, all of those things were happening simultaneously. Because that was the end of Esau. The Lord said he will break the scepter of the rulers. So from that point, that's when the Lord started breaking their power. And they started going down all the way up until now. And it ain't finished. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. Yeah, because your kingdom is going to be taken away from these devils and given to the hands of Yahushua, which is the rightful ruler. That's why the Most High said, sit thou on my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. And this is where we're at now. Yahushua is on the right hand, and he's about to take off of that throne, to come down here, and to take this devil out, and to be able to be established in his kingdom, which was promised to him by Yahweh the Father. It says, let's read it again. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. Yeah, because when we read up above in the 13th verse, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, came with the clouds of heaven, which are the chariots, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion. That's why he's known as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's why when the Apostle John saw him, he saw him with many crowns upon his head. Not that he's going to have many crowns, but he's going to be given the credit for taking them down, all these nations. And glory, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, and all people, nations and languages should serve him, because you're going to bow. You're going to worship Yahushua, even those that say you're not supposed to worship Yahushua. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. And that's why he said, those my enemies which were not, that I reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So let's read that again. Daniel 7:26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, not to all nations. It says, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him, because we're going to have slaves in the kingdom of heaven. All right? So we're at a crossroads when it comes to prophecy. Let's read that part again. What does the idiom at a crossroads mean? At a point of decision or a critical juncture. And that's what we're at. We're at a critical juncture. That's why it says, though it tarry, wait for it, for in the end it shall surely speak and not tarry. It says, as in because of the proposed merger, the company is standing at the crossroads. This phrase, based on the importance accorded to the intersection of two roads since ancient times, has also been used figuratively just about as long. So the sooner these devils go down, the sooner the kingdom is established. So the two roads, it's like you have two trucks. Well, actually a truck and an amoeba. A truck, which is Yahushai, and you have the amoeba, which is Esau, coming at the truck, and the truck runs right over it, no problem. So once that happens, the kingdom of heaven will be established. So we're at a crossroads when it comes to prophecy. All right? So, just keep your eyes open, for what you see going on around the world. Keep the faith. It gets hard at times. Trust me, trust and believe when we tell you, because we are in the flesh just like you. We go through similar situations you go through. We get temptations and different shit that go through our mind. There's times when you don't want to be bothered, but it's all a part of, what's making us grow. It's all a part of what's making our roots be dug in deeper. It's part of, the anchor of our soul that the Lord is using to cement us more and more. Although when we go through these things, it seems hard, it seems tough. It's like, damn, man, what the, but it's all set up to cement us, to build a callus in our emotions, so that when all hell breaks down, we're not going to be feeling sorry for nobody. We're going to be happy that the Lord is destroying this place, and we're going to be hoping that the Lord keeps his hedge around us. So when you go through these things, instead of getting mad, praise Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because at the end of the day, this is being done for our benefit, for us, because we're at the crossroads. We're at a juncture in time where things are about to, really come to a head. Because up to this point, things have been comfortable for a lot of people, especially Jake out here. And it's so heavy that even Kevin Samuels is jumping on, speaking about this reset, speaking about how things are going to get really bad, especially for these women, because this world has catered to these women for a long time. And that's why the scriptures say, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Because Esau has put your women's mind in a situation of ease. You've been living it up. And when it comes to marriage, and don't get married. Don't get married, you stupid bastard. Inside joke, but don't get fucking married according to this world, because there is no benefit for the man to get married according to this world. Because once you get that marriage license, that marriage certificate, you make the state a third party in your marriage. So they're like a third person in your marriage, that they have decisions, that they make. And guess what? Their decision is going to be. It's going to be against the man every time. It's very rare where a marriage ends and the man gets the better of everything. Everything is catered for the women in this society. You have children, the women get the money, child support and all that. You get married and then you have a divorce that don't work out. Well, guess what? The alimony goes to the woman. Like right now, Dr. Dre is ordered to pay his wife, his ex-wife, $3.5 million a year. And what the fuck did she do besides crack her legs? That just goes to show you, man. You get married in this society, you're gonna get fucked. Excuse my Swahili. You know? So this society is not for the man. And these women have been living comfortably. They've been given welfare. They've been made to kick the man out the house. You know, and the man, especially the so-called black man, the Judite man, the Israelite man, the head of the tribes of Israel, has had it the worst. The other tribes too, but he has had it the worst. You know, and, you know, when, like Kevin Samuel said, look, men are used to that. Men are used to, you know, dealing and having to, you know, rough it out. You know, when you go to court, they don't give a fuck if you can't afford your bills. You're going to pay this woman what they tell you to pay that woman, or else. You know, there's been men that have been made homeless because of child support, because it's unfair. There's been men that have, prominent men, you know, police officers, you know, firefighters and all that have committed suicide over the injustice, I guess you could say, of the child support thing. You know, and these women have been living it up. They've been raking in the dough. They've been getting paid from different men. You heard the one bitch break it down. Why should I have 7 children with one man when I can have 7 children by 7 different men and get all kind of money, and she'll make more money that way? That's how the average mind of these women think. So that's what the scriptures say, that rise up, ye women that are at ease. You've been at ease. You're a walking, breathing representation of America and how careless she has lived. You know, and just like America's going down, you're going down too. But you sisters out there that have been doing the work, that's doing, you know, what you can, you know, by when I mean by doing the work, meaning, you know, taking care of your husband, your children, and doing what you're supposed to do, being a godly woman, a righteous woman to the best of your ability, you know, you will be all right when that time comes. But a lot of these women out here, they're going to be in destitute. That's why now they're making prostitution legal. Because women going to have to do something when all hell breaks loose. The majority of these women out here, they can't cook, they can't clean, they don't know how to, they can't sew. A lot of them have never worked a day in their life except for on their back and on their knees. So it's going to get really bad out here. Because we're at the crossroads as far as prophecy is concerned. You know? And all these things are going to happen during the time of Jacob's trouble. You know? So just, you know, Barakatah Yahweh Bashem El Shai, that he's given us the knowledge, wisdom, understanding to know what's going on in these times. He's given us the inspiration to teach and to have our eyes open. You know, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. And with that, I pray that you brothers and you few sisters have learned something today and been edified. Till the next time I say Shalom.